Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no man.
Hey guys, you're kicking it with Rob and Tara.
And today we're going to be talking about pain management. Yes, I still don't have a voice. I'm sorry. So, when I had my accident, I broke my C5, C6, severed my T10, broke all my ribs except for one, dislocated my shoulder, pulled my arm out of the socket, and had some internal injuries, and a blood clot in my left leg, right leg.
Punctured your lung?
uh,
Your ribs punctured your lung?
yes, I punctured both of my lungs and had chest tubes in both sides. But with all that, every spinal cord patient's different, and I just happen to suffer from a lot of chronic pain. So I'll show you some of the x-rays. This shows the plates they put on the left side of my ribs and the hardware at my T10. This shows the sever at my T10 and the break up there at my C5 and C6.
Very small. It's an incomplete C5, C6 spinal cord injury and a complete T10 spinal cord separation.
Yes, and right here you'll see the hardware at my T10 and C5 and C6. Tara.
This was a great diagram we found at pain management office in hanging on their wall. Basically, it shows where each part of the spinal cord plays a role in the body, and which also affects pain as well.
Yes.
Sensation, touch, pressure, that all changes depend on what spinal cord injury level. Also depends on how you help control it, right?
Yes. And for you guys out there, I am a quadriplegic. I am a tetraplegic. Just because I have use of my arms doesn't mean I'm a paraplegic.
Right, it's all based on the location of the spinal cord injury, the highest level of the spinal cord injury. And his highest spinal cord injury level is the C5, C6,
And
incomplete.
my hands are affected. My arms are affected.
They are. And we have taken some videos of that, as well as even today trying to use scissors, which was a little scary.
Yes. Alright, so the next picture.
So this, let's go back real quick.
Okay. What's that back there?
Okay, so what's so great about this picture also is that you have a spinal cord stimulator. And what's great about the spinal cord stimulator and Rob is that one of your leads, the one lead that you have, is placed in your L1. And that helps control some of the pain in the top of the feet and the lower legs. And they can add more leads as well, which is one form that you use as pain management, is your spinal cord stimulator. And that's why that diagram is so amazing. It shows exactly why the lead placement in L1 helps control some of that nerve pain and phantom pain in the lower legs.
And if you guys don't know what a spinal cord stimulator is, it is more or less a device, as you can see the battery right there. And, excuse me, I'm sorry about my voice, but the wires are placed into that, and then they are placed into my spine, and I control it from an iPod. I have different programs. I can stimulate myself all day, or 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off.
There's a lot of really neat settings, but they all are basically like an electrode that stimulates the nerve, um, the disconnect, right?
Yeah,
And allows you to feel that stimulation through the rest of the nerve going down through your legs. So a slight shock or pulsating or
the cool thing about
burst.
for me is it helps me feel where my legs are. Um, yes, it controls a lot of the pain, like 20% of the nerve pain, and that's a lot compared to what I used to feel. Um, but it helps me feel my legs. For some reason, I had the battery replaced last,
The beginning of last year, January of 2023.
and if I can get my neck to feel better, which it is right now, I just got,
Some numbing medication injections where he placed trigger, where it was a trigger point to help relieve some of the pain.
yeah, I've been having really bad neck pain, and I wanted to try that route
Mm-hmm.
before anything else, but we'll get back into that.
Absolutely. So I think for you, right, that nerve pain and having the spinal cord stimulator kind of helps mentally relieve some of it, uh,
Absolutely.
which I think we go into a little bit more depth if we, the next picture, I think
Yes.
is like a lead and the battery placement, which is similar to yours, not exactly. We did get the battery moved down more towards center.
I did have my battery placed there at one time,
Yes.
and they moved it. And you can see the wires coming up, leading into the spine.
And it does look like their lead is a little higher, maybe. Uh,
So the next picture,
and that's exactly what a lead does look like, though.
yes,
Um, and yours is again placed in your L1 to help where most of your pain was at the time. And they can place multiple leads to help with multiple pain areas in the spine.
yeah, and there's multiple programs. Um,
Yes, the Abbott rep has been absolutely wonderful in being accommodating uh, with that.
sorry about that, guys.
Um,
Yeah, the Abbott people are great.
they meet us in pain management to help program, change, um, and alter any of the needs, even when it was not levelly set, like it was more on one side than the other, or stimulating more on one side than the other. They were able to adjust that there in the office or meet us there. And it was a trial, right, that you did.
Yes, when I got this, it was a trial. They placed the leads on the outside coming in, and the battery was hanging off of me, like attached to me. And we tried it, and it worked. So I got into the trial, and that's how I ended up with the spinal cord stimulator.
So if you go to the next picture, I think it's actually more of that. Um, Typical locations. I know they did say that Rob's placement in the L1 is not a normal placement, less than 1%. I think it's like 1% or so of people that get these spinal cord stimulators um, get them placed in the L1. But
Yeah, I mean, it has helped me tremendously when it comes to the nerve pain. And this is just controlled by an iPod. And that is the only con that I really have about it, is that it's not an Android program.
right, and you have to carry a separate device, which also they don't make anymore, and because they have some kind of
They have a contract with Apple.
because Apple makes their app, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they make their app, but they have a
it works on Apple.
It's only for Apple devices.
Right.
If I get new leads placed, they give you an iPhone now instead of this, which I guess is a little bit better. But I'm an Android user, so
Yeah.
I really wish they would come out with an Android device or
App for Android. Yeah, I agree. It would make it beneficial because they said they could add it to like an iPhone. But again, Rob's not willing to switch. That's one of his. He loves Android.
I'm an Android user, and I could put it on my iPad, but my iPad is 1 year too late.
Yeah, there are certain specifications on that.
But then again, I would have to carry an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a lot bigger thing gonna work.
Because it is one of those things that going into surgeries or X-rays or MRIs, it's actually one of the reasons why Rob cannot get an MRI due to the lead placement in the L1. But those things are all controlled on the stimulator device itself. You know, we can shut it off, put it in surgery mode, put it in MRI mode, if it was possible for Rob, to help save some of that, because it does need to be shut off before going into surgery and things like that.
Yeah, and there is one other thing that helps my pain, and that is the bed that I sleep on.
Right. It's actually something we're working on getting a new one of, as they're pretty expensive, but
I sleep on a alternating low air loss mattress.
Mhm.
And when I get into bed at night, now our beds are together, so it's like having one big bed.
Mhm.
But this helps my pain tremendously. I've slept in regular beds. Not too long ago, my bed had broken, and I had to switch to a regular bed, and then you have to be turned every 2 hours. And the last thing I want is a pressure sore. So it is approved through my home mods.
yes, to get a new one. I think for Rob, he gets to relax when he gets into bed in one of these versus a regular mattress like mine. We've talked about trying a hybrid purple, but they're
Yeah.
expensive just to try, and to not like it would be
Yeah,
a
because
downfall.
we were just saying the other day, you'll get the purple mattress, and
You'll
I'll
try it.
try it, and if I don't like it, then
I get to keep mine.
yeah.
Or we just get another one. Yeah, exactly. But that is why people get into bed and go to sleep. They want to be able to relax. And when you get good rest, you feel better in the daytime. And all that correlates with mood and functioning as a normal human.
Even traveling, I
Mhm.
have a low air,
You have
no,
a alternating.
alternating pad
Hmm.
that I sit on, and I take it into the motel because pressure sores, you get them, and I have friends that have them, and it controls their life.
It does. I mean, not only the pain part of it, but the infections, the in and out of the hospitals, the surgeries that can be required. Um, but, I mean, truly, you use your mattress for pain control and peace of mind, I think, too. It all plays together. If you're too tense and too worried, you're in too much pain and too tight and spasming. I mean, it really is a vicious circle.
When my bed broke, I think the world noted.
Yeah, I think
I mean, everybody in PA definitely.
I definitely didn't get any sleep. It's a big worry. It's one of those things that if you didn't have your chair, I think you would feel the same way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've been sleeping on this same mattress for 5 years. So,
And we know quads that sleep on this mattress and don't like the alternating pressure part, you know? It's just your personal preference that you like it. It helps you. And we're not going to stop doing what works.
yeah, and I mean, that comes from the pain part of it is, like, I know quads that are not in pain or have no pain. So it's easy to just flop yourself around and sleep in different directions.
Right? Because even when we transfer in and out of the car too many times in one day, or in and out of bed too many times, out of the chair, you know, it increases your pain. The amount of time you're in your chair increases your level of pain. I'm talking like 6 to 8 hours. You were experiencing some pain.
Yeah, I just recently got injections in my hips. Now that was with a steroid, correct?
From my understanding, it was not a steroid. We requested no steroids. And the reason we request no steroids is because
right.
it does deteriorate the socket or muscle tissue or bones. Something along those lines where continuous use of steroids can start breaking down. And with Rob, we do have to be careful. It's one of his fears is that what are we going to do later on in life when we need to manage pain? And that is one of the big reasons why we try not to use narcotics now. We Rob is prescribed narcotics, however, he doesn't use them on a regular basis, and they're very mild, I believe.
It's
Um,
hydrocodone.
yeah, it's like a 5 milligram. It's not very much,
I
and
think I may have taken 3 in the last 5 months
yeah,
that I have had it subscribed,
right.
prescribed. You subscribe to the channel. Hit that button. Hit the button, people.
And ding a ling a ling.
Oh yeah.
But as far as medications, you have tried some. And not just injections. You've had neck injections, the numbing ones that have helped, the hip ones. Um, and there's other types that the doctors have talked to you about.
I mean, at one point, I was a zombie, maxed out on fentanyl, oxy. I mean, I was literally a zombie, and now I am on nothing.
You take some daily maintenance stuff for nerve,
Oh yeah, like I do take
Cymbalta, Lyrica,
Lyrica, Baclofen.
yeah, muscle relaxer. You take, I think, a Nabumetone is for pain. There's a few of them that you take that are to help try and control some of that, but I think one or two of them are controlled. And oh, you were just put on amitriptyline too. And you said that one has actually been working great.
Yeah, it actually helps me sleep better at night.
And it's a reset for the day, the doctor said.
But I think we're going to turn around and talk to you a little bit. And all right, now that we're turned around,
We want to talk about more of the meds and other ways that you manage pain.
yes.
And I know that we talked about some of the medication already, but there was a steroid pack your doctor was willing to give you like once a year or twice a year or something like that, for when we traveled to doing all the transfers and stuff, and it helps reduce some of the inflammation. We have tried that. Um, what else have you tried? You did the ketamine trial. It was
Yes.
not a good one. You didn't like it?
I did the ketamine trial for 3 months. And I don't know. At first, I thought it was more of a energy boost.
I think you were able to swallow it then too.
Yes. And then I got switched to a,
Liquid, once you got the peg tube placed in January.
and I wasn't fond of it. So I stopped the trial.
Mm-hmm. And we really had to fight to get some help in pain management, I feel like. Because when I met you, you were really suffering from a lot of pain. You sat in bed, you did try and get up some, but the main reason was your pain.
Yeah, the pain was, it was nerve pain. It was just out of control.
Yeah. I think pushing through some of that, being willing to talk about it, coming up with some solutions even when you felt like pain management wasn't listening and they didn't do anything for you,
Yeah.
advocating.
I always felt like it was, come back in 6 months and we'll see how you're feeling.
Or
Come back in
get the battery replaced, and come back, do this and come back, and we were doing all of it, and it finally got to the point where, it took me going in there with you and saying, now we did all these things, now he needs your help.
I mean, I was even doing PT and OT twice a week.
Here at home in the
and working
facility.
out, just not to please them. It was for myself too. But
And some of it did help.
yes,
Some of it did help getting moving, help to a degree, but there's a lot of pain left over from all that too. The working out, the stressing all those muscles that you didn't use for how long.
I mean, when you lay in bed for 2.5 years, your muscles and everything just
Atrophy.
yeah. So it was hard at first,
Yeah.
and like I said before, I feel like on a healthy note, I feel healthy because I'm getting all
The nutrients and minerals and protein and hydration, which plays a big role in pain management as well. Because when you're only eating potassium or potatoes, I'm sorry, you're not getting a whole lot, and your body needs so much to be able to function and reduce spasms and pain control mentally and physically. I think there's a big difference.
and there's so many other ways to control pain. And I noticed, like, since we moved into this house, keeping busy
Hmm.
is a great tool for pain management.
The VR.
The VR, and if you haven't tried it, try it out once. It literally just, it helps mentally. I don't know how it works, but it tricks your mind.
And I know we're not rich people or anything, and I know a lot of people out there aren't either. We live off of one income, for the most part, and we got his for Christmas off QVC. No credit required. A couple payments. A lot of times they do 5 installment plans. Of how much ever to pay it off, and it was beneficial for us to go that way. I know it's not for everybody, but again, we couldn't afford one outright either. So it's one way to go about it. Others is gaming in general, just gaming.
Gaming, yes. I mean, building a bookshelf. I mean, there's so many.
Power washing,
Yeah.
painting walls, lawn mowing. There's a lot of those simulators out there for the Xbox. I don't know about other platforms, but you have used a lot of them, even
What's that?
those simulators,
Oh, The Sims, yeah.
and other games, racing. You just got the quad stick to be able to do first person shooter.
Yeah. Keeping the mind busy is really important.
Hmm.
I remember the first time getting on the floor after seeing Angry Quad's video.
Hmm.
Actually, it was after a call with Angry Quad. And I'm trying to think of what else I use as pain management.
The stimulator itself, the gloves, the open and closed gloves help just give that range of motion, stretching of the hands, You did a little video on that.
Stretching in period is very important.
Even while in the chair, we stretch pretty frequently, uh, alternating pressure, um, just by weight shifting.
Yeah. Pain has controlled a lot of my 8 years. But
Um, AD gets affected by your pain a lot, so we try and, sometimes we go through the AD list, and, sometimes it's just needing to get in bed and relax for a little bit versus taking a pain pill or slowing down and, being willing not to do as much or try to do as much, and humbling, and as it may be, ask for help, um, when you can, to try and know your limits.
yeah, us quads, we try to go past the limits sometimes.
And that's okay too, right? Because sometimes, like Ingrid Quad says, just because you can't doesn't mean you can't. And I agree 100% with that. And I think you do too. I think there's a boundary there, though, too, when you have to be mindful of safety and self.
Yeah, I mean, AD, it can cause some major problems if you don't get it fixed or figure out what's causing the AD.
And I'm not just talking about blood pressure. AD for you is wide range of symptoms.
Blood pressure is one of the main ones, though,
Mm-hmm.
and gives me a freaking headache.
Goosebumps, chills,
The chill.
tiny little things like that trigger a response that something's not right below the level of injury, and I'm talking about C5, C6, which your level kind of comes chest, right?
Yeah, it's about here.
What else do you do? You do your exercise bands. You keep working out. You keep going. You keep pushing through it. You don't stop. We ask the doctors a lot every time there's a new pain, or something minor. Hey, he's feeling this, what can we do? What is it? Is it okay? You know, is what he's doing okay to continue? And we maintain.
Yeah, definitely work with your doctors and take their suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. I mean, you're not going to like every suggestion.
Right, not every suggestion is going to work, but being open-minded and willing to try a little bit of them, try it for a little bit, each one of them, and find something that works for you. Got to go through the suggestions to be able to come up with a solution, unfortunately.
Now, I mean, I still experience pain. Infections give me pain.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. But I can't complain now. I mean, I feel good today anyway. It doesn't mean tomorrow I will.
Right, every day is different. And again, just because you're like this doesn't mean every other quad is. So it makes you guys such snowflakes.
Yes, snowflakes.
But yeah, it's a large topic, one that's can always be changing for every individual, and one that I expect will continue to change for you.
And I'm sure that this topic we will talk about multiple times.
Mm-hmm. So, what kind of pain do you guys have, and how do you manage it? Is there anything that you do that we didn't mention, or any similarities even? And what are the differences?
Yeah, I mean, because I'll take any suggestion. I'll try almost anything.
Something else we do, which is, heat. Heat. You like to be warm, and if you are too cold, you hurt.
Yes.
So
I don't even know why I didn't even think about that.
me either, and it is a cold, rainy day, so it's like one of those perfect days to be inside, but it is cold. No ACs or anything on here in PA, and I'm about ready to turn the heat on for us.
I don't know why. I remember a video that I think it was Go Help Yourself did. That he said that he had
I think it was alive. Yeah,
his heat around 79.
85.
That is, see,
Or was it 85?
I know it was hot.
Yeah, it was way warmer than we keep it here.
I was like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, the winter time, maybe. It's because I do complain. Because when I get cold, it just hurts my body.
It's probably my description of, cold to the bone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like. And that's what sucks about my nerve pain is sometimes it makes me feel like my legs are cold and numb.
Hmm.
And then that makes me feel like I am cold and numb.
And weigh a ton. They do get really cold, stiff. So warm them up. A little bit within reason, and watch body temperature. Because you do overheat a little bit in the wintertime too.
I overheat myself a lot in the summertime.
In the summer, yes. It's like a given. Which again, has the whole adverse effect of everything.
Yeah, I mean, we take walks, bike rides.
Hmm.
That helps. There's just so many things you can do.
Just keep moving, keep going, and keep trying to change your perspective and the things that you're thinking about, and distract yourself. And if we come up with anything more, I think we'll add it to the list and talk about it again sometime.
I am not sure what next week's topic is,
Me either.
but I think it's a good one.
Oh,
But thanks guys for hanging out with us. And I'm sure just like every other video we're ever gonna do, we're gonna miss 1,000 things. Because it's always changing.
I think we're also growing and learning more.
Yeah. And I think our videos will get a lot better. I am having a good day today.
And I hope all you guys do too.
So I love you guys.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still